Hello there. This one is actually going to be really interesting because it is, of course, one of the holiday weapons that I'm willing to cover. And this time it's gonna be a bow that correlates with the Valentine season. There is another weapon that is also available in the event store with it before. I have recently covered the Heartbreaker crossbow weapon, which is another sniper rifle in the holiday weapon set. That thing is absolutely strong. I would highly recommend checking it out. That is one of the weapons in the game you shouldn't be skipping on. Anyway, we have another Valentine weapon we could probably look over because a lot of people love bows. Maybe not this one because it somewhat seemed to be underperforming to many of you that tried this before. That bow is called the Love Song. The schematic of the Love Song can be obtainable through purchasing in the event store during the Mild Meadows season and is only available as one copy annually. So the Love Song as a bow itself seems pretty much focused purely on single targets, especially for its one and only 6 perk that can apply a similar status effect as the stun when overcharging a shot. But that doesn't mean fire rate should be a good thing after charging an arrow. Once you max a charge on a single arrow, you won't be able to speed up the overcharge for the 6 perk because both the 6 perk and fire rate perks are completely independent from each other. And damage-wise, it's actually not that bad. It may look like it's just another regular bow in the game. It's probably because I tested the Love Song with Stoneheart Farah on lead. She makes every bow good because of her amazing commander perk. But without her, the bow is just going to be kind of underwhelming and it only helps stun, but not have the damage output there. The base damage of the Love Song is 267, which is actually high up there with the rest of the bows in the game, having around that number of base damage. So with that base damage, the perking is probably super easy. So like I said before, this Love Song can only have one 6 perk that is only exclusive for its own. A 10-second stun is actually not that bad, so if you shot a big husk and they got stunned the first time, that 10 seconds length will stay as long as you don't damage them. So it does sound like it can be a stallish bow to use for whenever you do something that I don't even encourage in your missions, but if you stun him and damage afterwards, that effect will go away and you'll have to wait a couple more seconds to stun it once again. It does say it doesn't affect bosses or husks that got recently been struck. This can be in any elements, by the way. I have mine on fire element because I was using it in a nature storm 160 mission. If you would like this to completely focus on stunning mist monsters and all, except for some smashers, you can freely have this on physical element and you can have damage to mist monsters perk on the last perk slot here. I have 2 damage to stun perks because you deal almost double the damage towards the stunned husks. So after you shot with an overcharged arrow and stun a smasher, for example, you can charge shot that stunned smasher and deal quite as much damage right before the effect breaks. As for the reload speed here, it is already fast enough. Even without it, a 1.3 reload time is still efficient for a big bow like this one. I only have it because, I was using a basic Farah loadout, so I can quickly reload and have another arrow to charge in. If you don't really want reload speed, because it is already fast enough, you can build this Love Song bow as a full crit build. Double crit damage is possible here, 1 crit rating, damage to stunned, or damage to miss monsters for the last perk. That one will be a completely different approach, which you will deal a decent amount of critical damage than what I am going for. But yeah, triple damage is also possible. If you prefer increasing overall damage than crits, I would probably go for the regular crit build or that full damage one, because this copy that I have maxed here is one of those copies I didn't spend much reperk on. So the only loadout that I was using for testing out the Love Song, as mentioned before, was a basic bow loadout that most of you already have known, but for anyone that is actually interested in looking at it, I have Stoneheart Farah as the commander lead of this loadout because whenever she shoots anything with a bow, she splinters the arrows into multiple enemies, making her a really fantastic pick for crowd clearing, especially for bows that can't do any sort of area of effect ability. totally rocking out is our team perk here. Battle Beat and Fumble activates it for the crit rating and heals. Quickscope in support increases damage by 17% with snipers. Bows are categorized as sniper rifles, so they count as, well, survivalist perk here because I don't trust my team perk to activate all of the time, and I'm using a single target bow on top of that. And the last support perk is Locked and Reloaded for the 15% weapon damage increase every time I reload. If you are going for a crit build, you can indeed place Rabbit Raider Jonesy somewhere in this loadout. He increases a very good amount of crit damage with whatever sniper you're holding on to. It'll most likely be survivalist in this current loadout. I may lose some of my healing source, but sacrificing for damage is probably something you can consider if you are somewhat a risk taker, or if you're using a lot of heal pads or campfires. Well, I would really want to say this bow could have some potential. It may not be the worst one out there, but it cannot be something I would really use much other than my lovely Night Owl. So yeah, I think it can deal tremendous damage even with the stun effect 6 perk, but making this bow strong requires you to get certain builds and loadout to have it deal the highest output damage as possible, in which what everyone really wants, whether it's single target or AoE weapon, but this weapon kind of failed to do so. Either way, I'm not gonna lie, it looks really pretty from its appearance. It's almost the shape of a lyre instrument that a barb plays in an innkeep. At least they've put some effort into making this look nice for Valentine's Day. That should be all for the love song. I'll see you in the next video. Take care of yourself and love yourself.